Welcome to another edition of Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News. Once again, I'm doing the usual different character voices until someone complains. Here's the lineup for this week. The news, of course, Community Bulletin Board, and 55 Plus News. Also, coverage of the Town Hall meeting. That's the show. Now here's the social media reminder. You can watch the Arlington Weekly News on YouTube at Arlington Weekly News and the number 1. Also on Facebook, and you can listen on the radio at WERA 96.7 FM. Now, on to the news.
As of Sunday evening, November 15th, reports show the number of confirmed COVID-19 cases in Arlington had exceeded 5,200. Regular viewers and listeners will note the intensified increase in our reported case numbers. Meanwhile, Governor Ralph Northam made the following announcement last Friday afternoon. COVID-19 is surging across the country, he said, and while cases are not rising in Virginia as rapidly as in some other states, I do not intend to wait until they are. We are acting now to prevent this health crisis from getting worse. Everyone is tired of this pandemic and restrictions on our lives. I'm tired, and I know you are tired too. But as we saw earlier this year, these mitigation measures work. I am confident that we can come together as one Commonwealth to get this virus under control and save lives. End quote. New mitigation measures went into effect at midnight on Sunday, November the 15th, and include a 25-person limit on indoor and outdoor gatherings, down from 250. Expanded mask requirements, including children aged 5 years and above. A 10 p.m. on-site alcohol curfew. And increased enforcement. Our next story promised Arlington's final results from the most recent election on November 3rd. This was because Arlington's elections results were supposed to be officially confirmed on November 16th. As of 12:30 a.m. on the morning of November 17th, the State Department of Elections website still provides only unofficial results, despite a posting on that very same website that election results would be certified on November 16th. We will let you know the final outcome once the elections website makes the information public. Elsewhere, the annual Wreath-Laying ceremony, sponsored by Wreaths across America, has been canceled at Arlington Cemetery. Charles Alexander, superintendent at the Arlington National Cemetery, issued the following statement, and we quote, "Our strong hope is to be able to resume hosting this great event next year in 2021. While many of our families and visitors associated the Wreath event with the holiday season, we thank all of the thousands of volunteers who had planned to take this time to honor, remember, and explore those who are laid to rest at our nation's most hallowed ground. We invite everyone to virtually visit the cemetery through our multimedia platforms at Arlington National." That's ampersand ARLINGTON capital NATL. Family pass holders and visitors are still welcome to visit the cemetery on their own schedules and place graveside tributes of privately purchased flowers or wreaths in accordance with the cemetery's floral policy. Elsewhere, vandals have targeted a Black Lives Matter sign in front of the First Presbyterian Church of Arlington near Ballston on 4 occasions. First Presbyterian is at least the 4th church in Arlington reported to have a racial justice sign vandalized this year. According to Scott Laganja, an elder at the church has gone through 4 signs since the first one went up on October 4th. The sign read, "Black Lives Matter," on a striped background imitating the Philadelphia Pride flag, which includes the colors for gay pride and trans rights flags, as well as the black and brown stripes to symbolize people of color. After the first sign was stolen, the church invested in steel cables to secure it. Instead, vandals covered it in graffiti. Once they crossed out the V in Black Lives Matter to read Black Lies Matter. This most recent time, someone cut the sign out from the cables and took it. The church has taken a strong position on inclusion and racial justice, said Laganja. It reaffirms the stance we are taking, and it's the reason we are going to replace the sign. Now it's time for more of our long-time seasonal feature. It's part 3 of the Leaf Collection Report, or, as old Ben calls it, the Suck Truck Cometh. The next neighborhoods visited by the Arlington Leaf Collection will be, from November 28th through December 2nd, Alcova Heights, Arlington Mill, Arlington View, Ballston and Virginia Square, Boulevard Manor, Clarendon and Courthouse, Colonial Village, Columbia Heights, Dominion Hills, Forest Glen, Foxcroft Heights, Glen Carlin, Green Valley, John M. Langston, Long Branch Creek, North Highlands, North Roslyn, Radnor and Fort Myer Heights, and Waycroft Woodlawn. We will have more information next week. That's the news. Now it's time for Community Bulletin Board, or CBB.
Hi, and welcome to CBB. Our first event is for children aged 2 to 10. Only the child needs to be registered, but caretakers must also attend. But everyone will enjoy the story, Who is the Beast?, with one of the park's naturalists. At the risk of providing spoilers, we're pretty sure the story goes like this. When a tiger suspects he is the beast the jungle animals are fleeing from, he returns to them and points out his similarities with other creatures of the same jungle. For information, call 703-228-6535. You'll meet at Long Branch Nature Center. You can register online or call 703-228-4747 and mention activity number 612920-F. That's on Wednesday, November 25th, from 11 o'clock to 11:30 a.m. at Long Branch Nature Center at Glen Carlin Park, 625 South Carlin Springs Road. This next event is for kids aged 3 to 6. Once again, you only need to register the child, but caretakers must attend. They want you to come help make Thanksgiving for their turtles. You'll chop up fresh fruits and veggies and then give the turtles worms for dessert. Again, meet at the Long Branch Nature Center. For information, you can call Barbara Farley at 703-228-6535. You can register online or call 703-228-4747. The activity number is 612910-Y. That's on Saturday, November 28th, from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock p.m., again at Long Branch Nature Center at Glen Carlin Park, 625 South Carlin Springs Road. Next up, we have an event for families. Some of the earliest federal monuments in the United States can be found in Arlington parks. On this 2-mile round-trip hike, you'll learn about the creation of the District of Columbia and how you can find the surviving boundary markers in our neighborhoods. Meet at Fort C.F. Smith Park. For information, call 703-228-4775. You'll need to register both children and adults because children must be accompanied by a registered adult. Register online or call 703-228-4747 and reference activity number 612-750-M. That's on Sunday, November 29th from 10 o'clock a.m. to 12 o'clock noon at Fort C.F. Smith Park, 2411 24th Street North. Finally, in the face of the ongoing COVID-19 epidemic, the Arlington Turkey Trot is going virtual this year. The trot has been an annual feature for 15 years now, and its organizers have decided not to let anything interfere with that tradition. Here's how it used to work. Participants would pay a fee to run or walk a 5-kilometer course through various Arlington neighborhoods on the morning of Thanksgiving Day. The purpose of the event was to raise funds for a number of charitable concerns. Past beneficiaries have included ASPAN, AFAC, Thrive, Bridges to Independence, and Young Life. Some participants had another purpose as well, working up an appetite for their Thanksgiving meal later in the day. This year, the virtual approach provides a choice of 8 different running routes. This will help participants maintain the appropriate social distance as they pursue their chosen path. In addition, the timing of the run is flexible. Participants can walk or run any time between Wednesday, November 25th and Tuesday, December 1st. Finally, for those who are unable to participate in the actual event, the group accepts donations to help support these important charitable organizations. Anyone interested in participating or donating can go online to arlingtonvaturkeytrot.org. Again, that's arlingtonvaturkeytrot.org. Now it's time for 55 Plus News.
Howdy, and welcome to 55 Plus News. Well, here's a chance to start getting active and fit at Thomas Jefferson Plaza on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. This fitness program is for adults 55 and older, and it includes seated and standing exercises for strength, cardio, and full body. You can register online or call 703-228-4747. That's activity number 782-00106. And it's coming up on Wednesday, November 25th from 10:45 to 11:30 a.m. at Thomas Jefferson Park, 3501 2nd Street South. The Small Business Saturday Outdoor Market will feature an event called Lovin' Local Lee Highway Holiday Market. Studio 10 artists will be painting plein air. Local band Bella and Wayland will be playing. Sun and Moon Yoga Studio will be there to help everyone breathe, stretch, and connect. And local businesses will offer specials and discounts. That's on Saturday, November 28th from 11 o'clock a.m. to 3 o'clock p.m. at the Cherrydale Shopping Center. Now, they had a note that said, for more information, contact the Lee Highway Alliance at 703-261-4744, but don't bother because there's just a recorded message asking you what you want to call Lee Highway after they change the name,
and there's no other information like the address of the Cherrydale Shopping Center. But I bet if you go up and down Lee Highway, east of Glebe Road, you'll probably find it somewhere. Now, next up, the Nonfiction Book Club will discuss the book of the month, which is called The Radium Girls, the dark story of America's shining women. Written with a sparkling voice and breakneck pace, The Radium Girls fully illuminates the inspiring young women exposed to the wonder substance of radium and their awe-inspiring strength in the face of almost impossible circumstances. Their courage and tenacity led to life-changing regulations, research into nuclear bombing, and ultimately saved hundreds of thousands of lives. This meeting will be held on Zoom. All registrants will receive the Zoom meeting information the day before the event. That's on Monday, November 30th from 7 o'clock to 8:30 p.m. You can register through the Arlington Public Library website. Just look under Events. Finally, we got a topic not everybody likes, but a lot of people got to deal with. It's called On Death and Dying, Hospice and Palliative Care. Now, when a loved one is seriously ill, what kind of resources are available? And who can you turn to for straight answers and support? What does it mean to have hope even when facing death? These topics and many more will be addressed in a session led by a hospice and palliative care specialist who will welcome your questions and comments about end of life and palliative care. Cynthia Carney is a founding member of CIAC, the Coalition to Improve Advanced Care, and she's the executive director of Goodwin House Palliative Care and Hospice. She is a registered nurse and has been working in hospice for 20 years. The program is presented in partnership with the Coalition to Improve Advanced Care. It's a collaborative effort of nonprofit and community organizations in Arlington County and surrounding areas. Their mission is to improve the quality of life for those facing advanced illness and their caregivers. This event will be held on Zoom. Attendees will receive the Zoom meeting information within 24 hours of the meeting. Registration is required. To register, and if you have questions, just call 703-228-6333. That's on Tuesday, December 1st from 11 o'clock a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Well, that's about enough 55 plus news. Now I guess it's time for another town hall update.
The first November town hall meeting, which would normally have been set for Friday, November 13th at 12:30 p.m., did not take place. There was no advance notice of the cancellation on the county's website or on ATV, just a slideshow of useful COVID tips and information. A call placed to the county manager's office resulted only in a statement that the town hall meeting was not on the schedule for November 13th. It is unknown why the cancellation of a recurring event that engages so many Arlington residents went unannounced, leaving interested would-be participants and viewers to wait in vain for their chance to be heard. This is the third unannounced cancellation. As COVID-19 cases continue to rise in Arlington and the Northern Virginia region, Arlington County's Public Health Division is reminding everyone of what should happen under quarantine. When the Health Department recommends you remain in quarantine for 14 days, It is because you have been in close contact with a person with COVID-19, which places you at increased risk of developing infection, including asymptomatic infection, and spreading that infection to others. If you are asked to quarantine, you should stay home for 14 days after your last close contact with the person who has COVID-19. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention's definition of close contact to a COVID-19 infected person is any individual within 6 feet of an infected person for a total of 15 minutes or more in a 24-hour period, regardless of their wearing a cloth face covering. Even if you test negative or feel healthy, you can still be at risk of spreading the infection to family, others at work, at school, or in other activities, including playing sports, as infection can appear 2 to 14 days after exposure. By quarantining for 14 days, you lower the chance of possibly exposing others to COVID-19, especially those who are at higher risk from getting sick. A negative test for COVID-19 during quarantine does not mean you can end quarantine early. People in quarantine should stay home, separate themselves from others, monitor their health, and follow directions from their state or local health department. That's the first story. Our next story comes partly from Now, from November 12th. Even a limited return to classrooms has some Arlington Public Schools employees worried amid questions about safety protocols and the benefit of the in-person activity. 23 schools opened their door for students with disabilities as a part of Level 1 of the Return to Classrooms plan. Classroom assistants are helping the students to participate in distance learning activities within school buildings while teachers remain remote. One assistant, speaking with Now among a group of other assistants, all on the condition of anonymity, pointed this out. The catch is that they're still learning virtually. We are just trying to get the word out there because we don't think it's fair. Numbers are rising. We are here risking our lives to watch them learn virtually. We want to be back when it's safe and to the fullest extent. In response, APS spokesman Frank Bellavia emphasized that the return to school plan is still in the early stages and said adherence is being examined. Students have been in school for a week, and we are working through making sure our protocols are followed, he said in an email. On Tuesday, AEA President Ingrid Gant said her organization does not have confidence in APS's return to school plan. She wrote a letter to Superintendent Francisco Duran in which she said, "The lives of our students, staff, and teachers are at the forefront, while the number of cases in Arlington and surrounding districts continue to increase. The delaying of Level 2 returns proves you are putting the school system first. However, any references to the APS Engage page at this time cannot give answers to our needs and pertinent concerns. The AEA wants the school system to test every room for adequate air transfers, communicate anonymous information related to cases, hospitalizations, and deaths, ensure staff can stay distant while students eat, and provide staff with 4 N95 masks a week." Spokesman Frank Bellavia has responded that HVAC testing, communication to staff regarding COVID-19 cases, lunch periods, and PPE are being done or have already been addressed in previous communications to staff. Meanwhile, the group of assistants said they cannot keep their distance because kids need help using their iPads. Complicating the close contact is that the disabilities of many of the students preclude their wearing masks. Other students cannot regulate bodily functions such as drooling, spitting, and biting, and need assistance going to the restroom. That's the story largely from Arl Now. These stories make it plain that there was plenty to discuss at a town hall meeting this past week. And while we appreciate that such meetings do take considerable effort to arrange and present, we must also point out that an advance message informing county residents of a cancellation is a comparatively simple task. And that concludes this week's show. We will be back next week with more news from Arlington. Meanwhile, be careful, be safe, and be well. This week's installment of Out and About could also be called Construction and Obstruction. In some cases, such as the pouring of a new driveway at a location on Lee Highway, the obstruction is of brief duration. In other cases, such as the widening of the sidewalk along a section of North George Mason Drive, it can last for more than a week. The longest period, and in some ways the most concerning, is the construction of the addition to the Virginia Hospital Center, which is likely to last for months. Concerning because it interferes with ambulance traffic as well as regular traffic. Elsewhere, construction continues on the expanded Benjamin Banneker Park, resulting in signage that sends a decidedly mixed signal. That concludes the TV portion of Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News.